kingdom of Nambara once breathed in harmony. Under King Adewale,
Our people are happy, Adewale.
They are, Sarah, a prosperous
the
harvest.
land answered kindness with abundance. Granaries overflowed, rivers sang through fertile plains, and justice was spoken plainly in the open courts. Adewale ruled not from fear, but from listening. A kingdom is not stone walls, he often told his people. It is the hearts within them. Beside him stood Queen Sarah, whose wisdom softened even the hardest disputes. Yet peace has a way of irritating those who crave power. From the edge of the council chamber, the king's younger brother, Lord Malrek, watched in silence, his smile thin, his loyalty hollow. Malrek found allies among council elders whose gold mattered more than legacy. In secret meetings lit by flickering oil lamps, they whispered treason. "The people love him too much," Malrek hissed one night. "As long as he lives, I remain a shadow." The elders exchanged glances heavy with greed. Plans were drawn not in ink, but in blood. When the king announced a diplomatic journey to a neighboring kingdom, Malrek bowed deeply. "Travel safely, my brother," he said softly. Adewale embraced him. Neither the king nor queen noticed how Malrek's eyes never blinked. The ambush came at dawn, where the forest narrowed and the road bent sharply toward the hills. Bandits burst from the trees like unleashed spirits, blades flashing, horses screaming in panic. The royal guards fought fiercely, but betrayal had already sealed the outcome. Queen Sarah reached for her husband as chaos swallowed them. "Whatever happens," she whispered, gripping his hand, "our son must live." Steel rang. The carriage shattered. By sunset, the road stood silent, stained with royal blood and broken oaths. The kingdom mourned, drums beating through the night as the truth was buried beneath ceremony. The prince, Cato, stood trembling beneath a crown too heavy for his grief. Tradition demanded it. Elders declared, the bloodline must not break. Cato's voice cracked as he spoke before the people. "I will rule as my father did." From behind the throne, Malrek placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Rest, my nephew," he murmured. "I will guide you." But once night fell, Malrek rode beyond the kingdom walls, seeking a power older than law. The witch lived where the earth itself seemed afraid, bones tied to trees, ash circling her hut. Malrek did not flinch. "Make him unfit to rule," he said coldly. The witch laughed, a sound like cracking wood. "Every curse has a price." Malrek dropped a pouch of gold. "Take it." Under a moonless sky, she slipped into the palace like smoke, whispering words that clawed into the young king's flesh and soul. Cato awoke screaming, his skin burned, his body contorted, hair sprouting where skin once was, teeth sharpening into weapons. He stumbled into the palace hall, mirrors shattering as he passed. Servants screamed, guards fled. "Don't look at me," Cato cried, horror choking his voice. He ran, through the village, through torchlight and terror, until the forest swallowed him whole. By morning, Malrek sat on the throne, announcing gravely, "The king has vanished." The people bowed. Fear replaced hope.
Years passed. The abandoned castle deep in the forest became legend. Some said a demon lived there. Others swore they heard crying on the wind. Zuri, daughter of poor farmers, cared little for rumors. She worked tirelessly as a palace maid, her hands rough, but her spirit gentle. When duties ended, she escaped to the forest with her flute. Music poured from her like prayer, soft, fearless, free. "This place listens," she whispered once, smiling to herself. Hidden in the shadows, the Beast King listened too. Her songs stitched pieces of his shattered soul together. One evening, a careless step betrayed him. A branch snapped. Zuri gasped and ran, but fate struck cruelly. She fell, darkness claiming her. When she awoke in the abandoned castle, terror seized her at the sight of the towering beast. She screamed and fled. He caught her, holding her wrists firmly but gently. "Stop," he said, voice breaking. "If I wanted to hurt you, you would already be gone." By firelight, the beast told his story. Zuri listened, tears tracing her cheeks. "You are not cursed inside," she whispered. For the first time in years, Cato believed it. Days later, while cleaning palace corridors, Zuri overheard Valrek's council laughing. "As long as the prince refuses to denounce the throne," one elder sneered, "the curse holds." Zuri's breath caught. The truth slammed into her like thunder. That night she ran back to the forest, her heart racing. When she told Cato everything, silence fell heavy between them. Then his claws curled into fists. "So fear has ruled longer than I have," he said quietly. In the distance, drums began to beat, slow, deliberate. The forest seemed to lean closer. Zuri raised her flute, voice steady despite the storm gathering inside her. "Then let the truth walk back into the kingdom." Cato stepped forward from the shadows, and for the first time since his curse, the beast chose to be seen. The moment Cato stepped out of the forest shadow, the wind shifted. Zuri felt it first. The air grew heavier, charged, as if the ancestors themselves had leaned closer. "If I walk back," Cato said quietly, his voice rough, "they will hunt me." Zuri met his glowing eyes without fear. "They already are," she replied. That night, far beyond the trees, drums began to beat, not for celebration, but warning. In villages starved by Malrek's rule, people whispered of a beast who walked like a man, and a truth that refused to stay buried. Malrek felt it too. He rose from the throne before dawn, sweat on his brow. "Find the girl," he snapped at his guards. "She knows something." The council elders shifted uneasily. One dared to ask, "And if the beast is truly—" Malrek slammed his staff against the floor. "Legends are tools," he snarled, "and tools are meant to be broken." Orders were sent, fires were lit. The hunt had a name now. Zuri returned to the city in disguise, her head wrapped, her flute hidden beneath cloth. She listened. The market buzzed with hunger and anger. "The land no longer answers us," a farmer muttered. "Because it was cursed the day the crown was stolen," Zuri said softly. Eyes turned. Before she could slip away, armored boots thundered in. "There!" a guard shouted. Chaos exploded. Stalls overturned. Baskets scattered. People screaming as spears clashed with knives. Zuri ran. She didn't see the net until it fell. She fought, twisting free just enough to roll beneath a cart. A blade slashed the wood inches from her face. Then a roar split the air. The beast burst through the crowd, towering, unstoppable. Guards froze. Some fled. Others attacked. Cato moved with controlled fury, disarming without killing, shielding civilians with his own body. "Stand back," Zuri yelled. "He is your king." The words rippled through the market like fire. Malrek arrived with banners and bravado, smiling as if at a festival. "People of Nambara, behold the monster that feeds your fear." Cato stepped forward, chest heaving. "I fed you peace," he answered, voice steady. "You fed me lies." Gasps rose as Cato removed the ancient signet ring from his clawed hand, the same ring the old king wore. Elders stared. One fell to his knees. "By the ancestors, it's him!" Malrek laughed, sharp and cruel. "A trick!" He signaled his archers. Zuri ran between them, arms wide. "The curse binds him because he never denounced the throne. He never stopped being your king." The archers hesitated. For a heartbeat, the city held its breath. Then Malrek gave the order. Arrows flew. Smoke rose. Cato charged, not at Malrek, but toward the gate, clearing a path for the people to escape. Zuri stumbled, pulled up by strong hands, farmers, traders, guards who turned their backs on the throne. "Go!" someone shouted. Bells rang in panic. The palace burned at the edges as Malrek retreated inside, sealing the doors. "You cannot rule what you terrify," he yelled from the balcony, "and you cannot save them all." At the river's edge, Cato stopped. His breath came hard. The curse pulsed, fighting the truth. "If I cross back as king," he said, pain lacing every word, "the curse may claim me fully." Zuri gripped his hand. "Then don't cross back as a king," she said. "Cross back as hope." Behind them, the people gathered, wounded, frightened, watching.
Cato stepped forward, not into the palace, but onto the broken road where his parents fell. He raised his voice, not a roar, but a vow. "I will not denounce this crown," he declared. The earth trembled. The curse screamed through his veins, then loosened just enough. His form shifted, not to what he was, but to what he had become. Scarred, powerful, changed. The people knelt, not to a throne, but to a promise. Malrek watched from behind stone, eyes burning with hate. "Then I will take what you protect," he whispered. As night fell, drums changed rhythm, slow, resolute. The city did not belong to Malrek anymore, but it wasn't free either. Zuri stood beside Cato, flute lifted, the first note cutting through smoke and fear. The war for Nambara had begun. Malrek did not sleep. Before dawn, he summoned the witch again, her voice weaker, her magic fraying. "Finish it," he demanded. "Bind the beast forever." She shook her head. "The curse no longer obeys you. Truth has cracked it." Enraged, Malrek chose steel over sorcery. He spread word that the beast planned to burn the city at sunrise. Fear moved faster than truth. By morning, armed men stood at the palace gates, trembling, uncertain whom to believe. Cato approached without armor, Zuri beside him. "I will not hide," he said, "but I will not beg." When stones were thrown, he did not strike back. When spears lowered, he knelt, not in submission, but remembrance. "This road took my parents," he said softly. "I will not let it take you too." Murmurs rose. A guard dropped his spear. Another followed. Malrek watched his power thin like smoke. Cornered, Malrek drew his blade and lunged. The clash was swift, brutal, desperate. Cato disarmed him, pinning him to the ground. "End it," Malrek spat. "Take the throne." Cato's claws trembled. Around them, the city waited. Zuri's voice cut through the noise. "If you kill him, the crown will always taste of blood." Cato released Malrek and stepped back. "You are no king, and I am no longer what this throne needs." Malrek was seized by the people, not for execution, but exile. As he was led away, he screamed, "You will regret this." Cato didn't answer. He was already turning toward the forest. The elders gathered, kneeling before Cato at last. "Return," they pleaded. "Rule openly. Heal the land." Cato looked at his hands, still marked by the curse, still changed. "I cannot sit on a throne built on fear, and I cannot undo what time has taken." He placed the crown on the palace steps and stepped away. Instead, he claimed the outer lands, the forgotten farms, the river edges, the broken villages. People followed quietly, not summoned, but drawn. Zuri walked beside him, her flute carrying across fields that slowly greened again. The curse never fully vanished, but it no longer ruled him. He was no longer beast, no longer king. He was something truer. The elders gathered, kneeling before Cato at last. "Return," they pleaded. "Rule openly. Heal the land." Cato looked at his hands, still marked by the curse, still changed. "I cannot sit on a throne built on fear," he said, "and I cannot undo what time has taken." He placed the crown on the palace steps and stepped away. Instead, he claimed the outer lands, the forgotten farms, the river edges, the broken villages. People followed quietly, not summoned, but drawn. Zuri walked beside him, her flute carrying across fields that slowly greened again. The curse never fully vanished, but it no longer ruled him. He was no longer beast, no longer king. He was something truer. Seasons turned. The palace stood tall, but empty of loyalty. Beyond its walls, a new way of living took root. Shared harvests, open councils, no crown above another. Children laughed without knowing fear. Elders spoke of a ruler who chose people over power. Some nights drums echoed from the forest, not warnings, but songs. Zuri would sometimes sit at sunset, playing her flute as Cato watched the land breathe again. "Do you miss it?" she asked once. He smiled, a quiet, tired smile. "I don't miss the throne," he said. "I miss the boy who thought it was everything." The wind carried her music far, into places that remembered. The crown stayed in the palace, but the kingdom followed the man who walked away.
The moral lesson of this story: a kingdom is not the castle or the throne, it is the people. Wherever they stand together, that is the kingdom. Similar with a home is not the house, it is the family. Where love lives, that is home. And true leadership is not about ruling above others, but walking beside them.
If this story spoke to your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, where is your kingdom? Where do you call home?